put a little color in the presentation, but I did want to talk. I really, if you've watched or may remember me talking about, if you've watched me before, I started talking more and more about the story with Microlocs. I think it really became important for me to share the story once I was on that panel last September with Sister Locks founder, and um, it really pushed me to talk about why I did what I did. Once I told you, when I was asked how I started, and the mic was snatched from me by Sister Locks founder, and she said I was doing a bootleg Sister Locks, and I remember laughing that off. But I remember progressively that day, I was like, I really need to speak more about why I started it, and things that I may not have said then. I said in follow up videos. If y'all remember, I got and said that I got on video and made a few videos about the needed refinement, all those different rotations and tools and everything that was a part of the, at that time, and maybe still is a part of the Sister Lock program, how it was not beneficial, how it was creating weak locks, how it was impacting women, how the professional, all these things I felt could be enhanced, improved, innovated upon. So that's how I started really talking about my role. And it was new to a lot of people. I know a lot of people may not have known about me. Some people did, some people do, and some people remember. But this is something that I felt like really heavy on my spirit today to talk about as I'm editing. I have a lot of footage and things I haven't even shared, but like even today, as I was editing that video of me on the panel talking about, you know, um, pioneering in the industry and being back home in Brooklyn where it all started, it was very like emotional for me to do that for many reasons. And I want to tell y'all the real deal story like I do, have real talk, because there's a lot of information from my 16 years being in this industry behind the scenes that I know and that I want to, sometimes I share, sometimes I don't. But, okay, goodness gracious. um, and so I wanted to share some of that with you. I have some video, I have some pictures. Oh my goodness. Because I'm going to be real, there's a lot of things I hadn't shared about because number one, my absence from social media, my absence from YouTube and many other things was a personal reason that I felt personally embarrassed about. I started to share and open up a lot with you all about that, not wanting to become a single mother, but I'm a social worker as well. I share about mental health like it's nothing. So I talked and shared with some of the videos, my own like postpartum recovery and the depressive symptoms, and which is very common. And most of us have high functioning depression. I'm an active therapist now. And so for me to talk about mental health, I talk about it in a way that I want to normalize this conversation. And then there's a lot of things that are triggered when we're in this kind of industry with where I feel many have a need, including myself, all of us, for ongoing mental health support and emotional support and business support and financial support. Like a lot of us we need each other, but we come in and it's like we're stepping into a boxing arena, and it's unfortunate reality of this society that we're in. People want to make money and they'll do it, and so a lot of things are being triggered in a lot of people. So when I did not share as much of my story, I wasn't as vocal. Number one, the algorithms knock you out when you off for a while. There was a point where my videos would go very far, like tens to thousands of um, reach in like really quickly. And I got monetized very quickly all those years ago. And when I disappeared and I tried to make a video or two, wasn't getting any reach. Meanwhile, you already know when you are the like a first, one of the first few, how many will come after you because you've opened up the door for them. And so now the content that you said, things you said are being repeated or kind of like, so I started noticing everyone popping up, and it starts to drown out those who paved the way. So that's why, even though I got the mic snatched out my hand by Joanne Cornwell, you'll never not hear me still give her credit. Number one, on a energetic, spiritual, karmic level, you are going to reap what you sow. So if I think that I don't like for things to happen to me, I will not do it to others. And things like, even though I may not personally like the behavior or something about someone, if it is a true fact that I was inspired and I'm able to create my own abundance or whatever off of what they built, and I do not give her credit for that in a public way, which I think is important for my success, it will hinder it. So there's like my spirit told me to say this, and y'all understand what I mean when I say that. Understand that you sometimes you have to say certain things, and not everybody's going to get it, but those who get it get it. Um, if what I've seen happen and what's happened to a lot of us in this industry, y'all could put the comment in. Thank you, Precious. I didn't even click on the other platforms to check and see because I just start speaking. Is that sometimes people do things with not good intention, right? They see somebody doing something that they like, they inspired. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. I want to, whatever. They may not say that, but they're like, mm, who she thinks she is, right? Oh, she ain't got that many. Like, I know people do things like that because I had that little seed in my heart too. One point, I was like, I could do better. Like, but that only spoke from my insecurities and work that I need to do. But there's people that do that in this industry. They literally do that. I've heard conversations, and I'm listening like, we're gonna take her down. We're gonna do that. Like, I think when you create with that kind of energy and you purposely want to leave people out and you purposely want to um, disregard or try to overshadow someone that actually helped you, it's a karmic thing. It's really gonna come back. There's always consequences. And so I see that, and I remember those conversations I heard back in the day, and I look at those people now. They're not, either not in the industry, their businesses are no longer. Something has happened, and although maybe I'm not where I want to be in business, I'm still here 16 years later. It's still amazing that I'm like, for me to reconnect in Brooklyn with people that were there, were much younger, much smaller, much more green Jessica, and to see now, like, I'm in my 40s, I got a baby, I look so different. I'm like, wow, it was emotional. And a lot of emotion has been happening lately. I went to first, still riding off the high of the love that I received. When you give yourself permission, every one of us, that said we are worth whatever we're trying to build, we are worth it. Um, you don't worry about validation and likes. Like, you're inner validated, but it's so nice. It's so nice to have people appreciate. And when I was in that space again with people who I admired telling me, like, that was just dope. I just wanted to say that. But I'm gonna show y'all some things. So those who are meant to hear, exactly. I know not everything is meant for everybody to hear. Some people like drama. Some platforms are different. I didn't even click on, but like I know the audience can be different in Facebook, and I'm on a different time. So listen, like you said, whoever's meant to hear it will hear it. And I have some things I want to show y'all. But I'm not speaking about my origin, the origin story. I was like, I need to share it more. Right. So I was going into natural hair, transitioning from weaves and wigs and all that into natural hair. And that was my first step, that there's something mentally that we have to correct. Like, there's some wounds there that we have that go deep. So for me to go into natural hair, I was like really struggling with hair texture, and I was in an Ivy League school, Columbia University School of Social Work, getting a degree in mental health. A license, that master's in social work. I already had the bachelor's, and I was already going through my own. No, my hair, that's nappy. Oh, that's not cute. I was judging other people. Like, this is real talk. And for those of us who will be accountable and be transparent, this is the type of shadow work and healing work that's going to get you really far. I really did not like my hair texture, right? But I knew that that's not normal. That's a problem. And so I worked on that, and I started to embrace, and that's how I started Naturally Beautiful Hair Care. I was like, I want to be able to help other people. I know I wanted to be a therapist and help other women and people mentally. So this was not any different. I said, if I don't do this work and get through this, how can I be helpful for others? how can I really tell women love yourself if I don't like my hair texture and I'm crying about it in the mirror? Like, some of us may not cry, but we may do things to try to avoid. Some people just is really hard to come to grips with that. We weren't raised, a lot of us, really loving, and this is still new. Even when you go to the locker room, I see the same kind of behaviors. So that's why I was like, I think I'm really needed in this industry as I go through my own. So then when I got my hair locked, it was a whole another transition. And I was like, what are these little skinny things? And so when I went to find my loctician, I only knew Sister Lock. So I was like, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real, because I've already been on YouTube for how many years talking real. I'm gonna show y'all some of these videos in a minute. I did not like the quality of what I saw. I am being honest. So when Joanne snatches mics out my hand and says I'm bootleg, but when I do the quality work and you can visually see the work and visually see the results look stronger, look more refined, I sit there and say, this is madness. But I went and ended up with someone who I saw their work before I even saw them. And that was what I wanted. So I said that I want something that is at a certain level, because what I was seeing were Sister Locks were big too. I don't want people, they can be extremely small, extremely big. Sizing has always been like, well, at least back then, it was kind of inconsistent. It wasn't, it was like either microscopic or swelled out really big. And then I went to somebody's consultation, and I was just like, okay, hair is not terrible. This is why I want to make this point. People are looking at your hair as the educator, as the loctician, whatever, right? Not everybody needs to have locks to be good in it, but I'm gonna tell you why. So why it's always a good thing when someone does have what you want. So I was just looking at it at this woman's. They were big, and then she had them on sponge rollers, and they were like not really even. And so I was like, I'm so particular about my hair. I was like, I don't think I would be happy if it were to look like that. You have to be honest. If it were to look like that for me. So then I saw someone who had their hair look like how I wanted it. I said, who does your hair? So-and-so in Harlem. But you have to tell her I sent you. She only takes referrals. She doesn't take anyone off the street. And she already set her, the loctician already set herself up as exclusive, which was telling them, because it's like, don't people just want to make money? No, you can make a lot of money by being exclusive. You can have a referral only system if that works for you. So a lot of things I see now is just so interesting. You can be selective if you choose. You should be. So thank you. I'll put your comment on the screen and read in as I go. And so that's how I connected with my loctician. I sideways got into the industry because I already had a natural hair twisting business, but I got in on quality, wanting it to look a certain way and being picky about it because it wasn't a small amount of money. And I also had the mentor pace me. Like, I had to figure out if I was ready, right? So I needed to wear the style myself. And for me, especially, well, when I told her I wanted to get trained, we said, but let's wait for that year mark because I want to go through this process. So everything about my journey was trying to do it right. But she already told me she was trained directly by Joanne. Joanne knows her to this day. She was very good. She signed a formal dis when you break your contract formally with Sister Locks, so that she could, my loctician could use different tools that work for her better, and that she can incorporate innovation. She didn't do like extensions, like that wasn't something that was being done. That's something that I picked up the baton with because I was like, there's too many women with broken Sister Locks. I'm gonna figure this out. And I was gifted money from family members who want to support my business. I've figured it out, and I took other people's regular lock trainings because there was no trainings. When I tell you this story, this is a big part of me and my journey. And some people, I know a lot of people are upset for me. I tell you, don't get upset. Let the industry do what it does. Because a lot of people are like, why you don't get? Because there are forces and things at play that are making the timing what it is. So you can't, what's gifted to someone is theirs, in their way. And if someone else could do things in their way. So I've had to learn because there's a lot of things that have happened from then to now where you may never, you're like, what is, look at all these people saying, but for those who understand and appreciate someone who's put the hard work in and the actual quality of the results, the longevity, the research, market research, the thought behind it, the sacrifices, the compromise, the spiritual, all of that that's infused into what's here, then they'll appreciate and see it, and they'll actually. I'm seeing people thrive because there's a connection on a different way for the content and whatever. But I'm gonna go back to so when I said to my loctician, well, I don't have sister locks. I'm going to call them Microlocs. I said, I'm going to go down to the attorneys. I got this referral. He's in Manhattan. And we had conversation. I also distributed for a hair tool whose creator was in a legal battle with Sister Locks because she was a former Sister Loctician herself, created a tool. I had many conversations. I know a lot of stuff that people don't know I know. I know who was on the scene. I know who was doing what. I know who had websites. My legal team scrubbed the internet and scrubbed. So when I tell y'all that I was the only one in Brooklyn, I was the only one online, that we had found that I had a clear path that I was going to go ahead and do with the trademarking and creating a microlock branding with the innovation that I was planting. I'm not lying. it was that much energy and effort for certain results, for certain skill. And so me telling my story, how emotional it was for me to go through this process and then want to help women, and how every innovation that came to me was to help other women. Well, I always say women because I'm a woman, but it does help men. It helps children. So I'll say other people, primarily Black women. It was kind of like the way that I was to practice social work, right? So my story continued with some of the things that happen to all of us. You have things happen in your life. It kind of sidesteps you. You access your support. You don't have enough. You can't continue this. You have to let that go. You have to, you know what I mean? So that hold on, y'all. It was a part of my story. It's inspiring to hear your why, a reason that drives your goals, your business, your movement, this lifestyle. She was wrong for that, but karma, oh karma for us all. Karma's good, karma's bad. Karma can be just what it is. Just be, right? Just be and do. You should really be conscious of your actions and intentions. And there is no running from, people out here really doing great. They'll, things will happen, but they'll be aligned with like a lot of things. Kind of reward that if people are moving in little sneaky ways. I think again, things just kind of come back. So a lot of us all have work to do. Um, I just said I was going to start talking, and then let me show y'all. So when I was putting in Microlocs, the video, it may not play, and if it doesn't play, then I'll re-edit this video and I'll post it um, on a YouTube, and then you can go see. This one was when Sister Locks was coming from me for saying Microlocs for small locks, and they were like, just I have Sister Locks, you have Sister Locks, you have Sister Locks. I said, don't have technically, I have similar. Let's see.
Naturally beautiful hair care. Hi, this is Jessica Marshall of Naturally Beautiful Hair Care and Official Microlock brand. I hold the trademark under the U.S. Patent and Trademark Attorney's Office.
I'm gonna pause it there because the attorneys told me to say that because we were moving forward. This video was like 2010, about 2010, 2011.
For the United States on the instruction of Microlocs. It is a separate thing from Sister Locks, and I want to make sure that people know that Microlocs are not this synonymous with Sister Locks. It's not a term that's used to say sister locks. I've been using the term since about 2008 to describe my small micro interwoven locks that were not started under the Sister Lock brand. I had my no Sister Lock tool has ever touched my hair, and has never been used to maintain any sessions of retightnings for me. I started to formulate my business and my company using different interlocking tools. I've used the Nappy Lock tool, and I've also have a tool of my own that'll be available in the market shortly. I do want to make note that I've been seeing some information out there, and I wanted to clear it up.
Hold on, y'all.
Sister Lock's company.
Y'all, I just have to say this because I was getting the heat coming in about they were just basically trying to squash like any competition that was coming up for Sister Locks. Sorry, y'all, I'm seeing like a little hair. And so I was getting information, like people would start making YouTubes and were just like starting to try to define this. But my attorney said, go ahead and use the term and say it's trademark because that's what your intention is, that's what you're doing, that's what we're filing, blah blah blah. And then when it was like, okay, now let's get this extra money, oh no, okay, then I became pregnant. Then it was, and that's, I mean, I am gonna make it my mission to, that's why I want to support women even with the small grants that I can only do now, small, but starting a nonprofit and getting a lot of funding for us to prevent things like this, like going forward with something. um there's a lot that was happening personally, as far as my support system. I don't know who can relate. I actually know a lot of y'all can relate. We have dysfunction rampant in our community and our family. So I was kind of solo out in the wild wilderness creating this brand. I was constantly a high functioning, depressed, constantly looking for support. And so when I went through this process, and I was just like very hypersensitive to the attacks of Sister. Oh no, their steps is locked. They're not, and I'm like, but I'm not trying to come up to squash Sister Locks. I'm telling y'all, there's big, huge flaws that are really problematic for people, and especially out of the Brooklyn, New York area I'm operating out of. There were people with broken locks and all these different things. And so when I was making these YouTube videos, there wasn't any, very little. I don't remember seeing any when I started talk about Microlocs. It wasn't, that's why it's so bizarre now to see so much. But it was just like, I want to let y'all know what's happening with what this is and what is happening. And then it was like, I guess I had uh become something threatening to some people who weren't, who, which was funny, ironically, secretly ordered that tool from me. I would see the names of, I ordered hundreds of, I shipped out hundreds of tools for this company at the time that provided a hair locking tool. And so there were a lot of sister locticians who were ordering it, and they were kind of hiding it and using it because the contract stated that they had to use the sister lock tool only to call it sister locks, which Joanne herself told me last year that that's going to change. But that had been how many years between that? Been over what, 12, 13 years of this. And that is when you're forced to do things that don't work, and you try to hold on, you try to bully or hold on to something that's not effective. You can expect that people are going to use something different. Afternoon. So so I started talking about it. I don't know what the rest of the video. Oh, I started to talk about like what exactly microlocks are. Okay, so the thing that I showed this video on Instagram a few months ago, and May Moves was, I remember her being in the thread, and I like cried because I had not watched this video since I put that year I posted it. How many years ago? 13, 14 years ago. And to see that I was saying consistently the same information to get high quality results, um, I was just like, hold on. Spirit is telling me to say this because some of y'all clicking on and off, and Maybe somebody need to hear something like this right now. When you have the style that you claim expertise in, when you use the tools on your own hair that you promote to others and sell, when you use those tools on your clients and you have hundreds of clients and you span over a decade, so 16, almost 16 years of me doing direct clients here exclusively for Microlocs, and many other people have many years. Those things are not to be taken lightly. When someone is the walking billboard of what they speak and preach, and I'm not saying that if you don't have locks that you're not a fan. I'm not saying that. Some people do change their hairstyles, but there is something added, an added layer when someone has gone through that process and they've gone through those trials and tribulations for you, and they've fine-tuned and found out what worked best. And so now they're teaching you their best methods, as opposed to someone popping out that you may not have ever heard of and have no track history, really significantly for many years, a decade plus, 15 years of actually doing and training on that or seeing the results. There's a difference. And so all I wanted to ever do was have women have a great experience and great results. And I knew how important it was to have what you wanted and to have things just be really great for you. You look really great, have the highest quality that you desire. Um, that's just my thing. Some people are not the same, but I felt like there should be a level and a standard. And so when things are popping up and new, I don't know, my spirit's saying to say that to people that might need to hear that. I'll tell you this, what I saw in the comments on one of my posts I made about people being scammed. There are people that are blaming the victim, right? People will come on the comment and say, well, they should have known not to spend $3,000 on that for some no damn twist. They should have known that, so they got what they deserved. Now that's cold and that's harsh, but that you can see both. There are people that really think that if you are not using your head and you spend a lot of money and get scammed, that somehow you deserved it. I said again, I want to prevent that, so I put education and information out. But there's some people that may not want you to know certain things. And that's what started with, I'm being honest, that's what I already been through that with Sister Locks. I already know what that looks like when they don't want you to say too much. They don't want you to, because like once people know, then they know, and they might think and make a different decision. No one should ever be rushed or fooled or tricked into making a decision, especially when that could impact them so much financially or mentally or physically. So that was always my thinking. So a lot of the message, spirit is also going to set, or a lot of the message is going to go over some people's heads because they are doing it to y'all. I go back to the beginning, right, of Microlocs, and I have to keep telling y'all this information. That's how I started. I said, I cannot see another woman crying or having something really go awry with her hair and I'm not saying nothing. So YouTube, oh, what's this? YouTube, let me start making a channel. My very first video was about adding an extension to a Sister Lock client, and it never existed before. It wasn't the best video, and I know it wasn't what people are looking for, because now people want you to show them everything for free, but it was me showing a before and after video and the woman going like that, and it was something that I had invested in to learn how to do, and I just tried to make it on a small scale. And the salon owner, the woman, her loctician, was at this festival, and she's the one that stood in my booth for an hour telling me I had Sister Locks and da da da, and then said at the end, your hair is nice. And then her whole team had to come and say, she acts like that sometimes. I'm sorry. They were apologizing for her. I think she feels threatened because your hair is nice. That is the kind of thing that I deal with. And when you have like a background in mental health and you work and specialize in Black women mental health, and you go through your own mental health journey, and you're raised by women that go through unaligned, misaligned mental health, unaddressed mental health needs, you see these things prevalent in our community. So that's kind of some of the story. Some of the story. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna play the rest of this, but I have another one, another video. I pulled out the recordings of my highest viewed videos on YouTube, and this was one of the top ones. Um, the comment section went wild at that time, and it also led me to not continue to pursue trademark it, because there was a comment like, you're going to take away, all these women are making businesses, are you going to take away their livelihood or something like that? And I said, I don't want to do that. I actually want to help. So there's a lot of things that I did to try to make sure that I wasn't going to negatively impact women. All the while, there are people that try to make sure they try to undermine what have built. So um it's very interesting, very interesting. I'm biting my tongue, I don't want to say too much. um Good Lord, y'all. Okay. All right, so that was that one video about how it was going to work. So now I go into training and certifying. There is no certification for Microlocs at the time. I created. I have a home-based business. It's in my home. You have when people have finished basements and you make a salon or whatever in Brooklyn. That's where I did it. No, it's no secret. I have pictures all over the place of my first training class, and I said, "You, I'll create a training." So I work at academia. I tell y'all a pattern, even now with the Microloc, the online training. I pull a lot from my work in academia at Columbia University. Columbia University plays a huge role in my story. That's how that's how I went natural and how to break down. That's how I even brought Naturally Beautiful Hair Care panel discussions to Columbia University's Black Student Caucus. And I'm going to attend something this week, and we're going to try to do some more things at Columbia. Being in a white environment, Ivy League environment, as a Black woman, did a lot for me to really look at myself and how I felt, and what I accepted and my self worth. It was very interesting how it plays into this business. And so we yeah, you say it's rough. Um, okay, so let me see what the rest of the stuff I was saying on here. And I think, let me shut up, let me play. I would say my comment again.
Has been a very visual part of the small locks, and they've I give a lot of credit, and my original websites gave a lot of credit. I wanted to make sure that people knew that I was not going to be installing your sister locks. I will be installing what I term micro locks. It's a term that I include any micro-size locks. We're not limited to the same structure and criteria as the sister lock company. I wanted to let you know that there are some subtle differences, that I have over half of my clients are former sister lock clients. I'm in New York, Brooklyn, New York, and I have clients that span many states nationally that come to me. So they're not just coming to me from other New York sister locticians. Some come with me with a bag full of locks that are broken off. Some come, with various things. I noticed that when I was attempting to address these situations, that a lot of their locks were a little bit puffier and fluffier. Their ends were sometimes fatter, and I saw some inconsistencies in a lot of their locks throughout. Inconsistencies meaning inconsistencies from each lock to each lock, and also from the length of the lock, where it should be the same exact size. I noticed some were thinner. That led me to think that it could possibly be maybe the tension from the tool. Perhaps the tool doesn't allow it to get as tight as the tools that I've been using or other people have been using, and so that allowed there to be a fray in the lock. When there's a rope that's frayed, similarly, the rope will snap. That's the weakest point. We don't want weak points in our locks if we want to maintain our locks. I think that that's just a general thing that I aim for with my clients, with my own hair. I noticed that, so I noticed when I use my tools, they're a little bit tighter and a little more braid-like.
I just want to pause. Can y'all hear me? I'm muted. I just want to pause and shout out all the people who are whistleblowers, all the people who are not scared to say the truth, even if it doesn't make you popular. I felt at that time, I got a voice saying you about to be a whistleblower, and then that's not going to be popular for some people. But you're still brave, and you still talk about it. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all who don't need to dance a jig for likes because y'all want to stay true to the quality, to your content, to your business, to your mission, to your people. Shout out to you because your reward is big. I just had to say that to younger Jessica. Like, what would you tell your younger self? I would, now that I'm looking at younger version Jessica, I'm patting her in the back. Like, I cried watching this before because I was so vulnerable and I didn't know what I was about to get into and what I was going to deal with life very shortly after I made this. But I'm going to say that I do not regret an ounce of it. I do not regret an ounce of speaking out this truth. No one was talking like this publicly at the time. No one. And I know, I don't know who can relate to this, but I do know there's people in the industry that are innovators that can relate to you start speaking up, and now other people feel like they can too, and I think that's good because then we started hearing people share their stories, and I don't want people to bash people. I just want people to feel that it's okay, and that my channel and my platforms to this day at 44 years old, from that time to now, is still always going to be where you're going to find you're going to hear me say something that might not be popular, but it's going to be helpful for those who appreciate and want a certain level of quality. So that's what I feel like is happening right now in this moment with me, even right now. I was so quiet about talking about my story. I was so quiet because I was like, I don't want people jumping on me. There's a whole bunch of stuff that had to do with me. And I was like, but let's go share this because there's people that are trying to make decisions about training, trying to make decisions about credibility with people, trying to make, and I want y'all to know that my information is not ever changed. It's funny that I'm like, that sound like almost the things that I say now, and I haven't seen this video in so long. And I'm kind of getting passionate because all the hate and all that I had to slay to get Microlocs to be what people are making their businesses and livelihood off, whether they want to acknowledge me or not. But it really takes a certain level of strength for those who choose not to acknowledge, and even try to compete and take away from the platforms we have that we've helped pave the way for others. That doesn't go without consequence. But I just want to say that because other people are dealing with in other facets of this industry or business in general. And I want to tell y'all, keep going. Because what kind of karma you think is going to go somebody that they may or may not know, but if they know that oh shoot, she paved the way, but I'm not going to follow, I'm not going to like her, I'm not going to do this, like I want to just go ahead and cop. There's people that would completely take, and then you're missing the magic and the passion of why we say what we say, why we do what we do. When you see women smiling, when you see that you created options for them, when you see that you're able to have resources for your family by doing something you like, by helping other people, not just making money grabs, not just scamming people, not just doing it because it's hot in a moment, not just, there are people that just do what people say they want so they can get a quick buck and end up hurting themselves and their businesses beyond repair sometimes because now your reputation. So y'all, son, you touched on a really good point. And I saw in Instagram, sorry, there was some hearts or whatever. Thank y'all. I know y'all just watching on it. Spirit don't like, I would love, you want to make a comment, I'll check back. Our community has a thing on holding on to generational trauma. This is why I'm a social worker in this industry, because this has been the themes of, it's not just about hairstyle. It's not just about creating a business. It never was for us in our cultures. Any of our cultures that you could trace our melanated people back to, has it ever been just that? Never. It got like that when we got here. And then people want to hold on generational curses just to harm women, harm Black women. Your karma is going to be massive. Black women birthed humanity. You don't want to, like, we can be so powerful for each other, but yet sometimes we can be so hurtful, right? And a lot of us, so I felt what you're saying, Precious. In full transparency, I struggled with support from my own family. So that's why I'm very sensitive to certain things and one from older women. And so I try to be the remedy, like we all should be. If we were hurt or we had a bad experience with our hair or whatever it is, the blessing in that is that you would be something other than that. And if you identify that you need some support along this journey because the wound is just so sore, that you would identify getting some help, because there's so much power in us reclaiming this power, this spiritual power, this cultural power of our hair in this industry, and all the millions and trillions that people can make if we direct it properly so that we are becoming more empowering. So that is why I say, like, from doing poor services to people scamming y'all out your money for trainings to copying somebody else's stuff to doing this and doing that, that all has repercussions that don't help us. It doesn't. Does it help to get a loss? Like, it just doesn't help us. Does it help to have your reputation tarnished and have a bunch of what did I say, a trail of tears, I had said. Right. So yeah, it's all true. It's sad they'd rather pass it down and tear you down versus acknowledge and build one another. Worse when it's from the same household. Most of our harm does come from the closest to us. In terms of just, there's a lot of hate on her and Najah. I don't know why. I don't like that it's too pervasive. There's a lot of posers who swagger jag, no shade, just facts. Oh wow. I don't know. I'm immune to some things. I don't see, but I just keep moving. But I don't. I see the people who come into the program who thrive. I see the people who say maybe they've been in different programs and they're finally getting what they need in ours. A lot of people seem to be very supportive in my space, and I guess it's just the environment that I want to create. But when I do speak out, I'm maybe passionate. So the thing is, um, I don't know how to say. Well, you know what? Hey, y'all, if y'all my people, y'all my people. There's a spiritual army behind me. There's nothing that can take away from having power in that sense, having protection in that sense, having guidance in that sense. And so sometimes it may. I don't even see it. It is weird. Like, I don't see what maybe you have seen. I don't. All I see is just like our words constantly being used, our trademarks constantly being used. But that's, even that has remedy right behind it. It's like, okay, but here's what we do, and then we go and we do what we need to do. So I don't understand that though, because it's like, if someone has blatantly, so here's one video, I could show y'all a few other things, and then I'm going to show y'all my daughter, who's inspired me to keep going in some of the darkest times. And she was in my belly as I made the first hair tool for specifically Microlocs in 2013. She was born in 2013. She was in my belly. Right? So yeah, 2013. I was pregnant the whole year. Had her in October. And she's the reason why I keep going. And there's so many innovations and so many things that I've done because of her, and that I kept doing with her. She's helped me. So that's like, I don't know, maybe that's my world. And I'm also a licensed therapist. Like, there's certain things I just won't entertain. I just don't have that. I do advocate for me and my clients or anyone to speak up, but we don't stay in gossip spaces. We don't ruminate, because what we do is return the mirror back on us and say, so this is painful. Why? And so let's go ahead and heal those areas that this is triggering. That's how I move. I'm too old to, even when I was younger, to dwell in that space. And I have too much of a mission here and too much of self-awareness to stay in that space. So yeah, I might call a fact as a fact. If I say, hey, we saw this on your page, I'm like, because the spirit says say it. There's things that I was too quiet for so long that when I speak up again, for being, it looks like, it may look like something else. But you definitely, especially when you're speaking facts, you can speak up, speak out, open up your throat chakras for those who are in abusive situations or dysfunctional situations. Speak, and speak in a way that is going to be to be solution focused. Like, speak like, this is what it is, and this is what I'm not going to do, this is what, but whatever it is, yes, speak. Your courage, strength, your motivation gives others the same energy and rev up those who really just too scared to step up. Yes, never be scared, because what you sit back in fear for only allows the thing that you don't want to continue, or that may need you to speak up, because you may be speaking up for so many others like you. There's so many of us in different facets of this industry that had to deal with this nonsense. And some people feel maybe a little more fearful or scared because they think that person has a bigger platform, and they think, and it's like, no, honey, that's not how things work. Like, if you are divinely connected to something and you speak out and you're supported, and don't worry about it. um so with tying it back to the, okay, so that's our video. um um Hold on, I wanted to go back. I think this one, oh Lord, let me go rewind to the end of this video and see what I was saying, because child, I couldn't get through it the last time, I think.
Part of the Sister Lock company, then I call them Sister Locks. They're not. We have
Oh yeah, I was like, these are not Sister Like y'all. And it was like, yes, they are. But the tables are turning, y'all. I'm just gonna tell y'all, be mindful of your actions and your intentions. And when you find, give credit and things like that. I don't know why Spirit just says keep saying that. Keep saying that.
any questions, feel free to contact me. I hope to answer them. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
Oh, poor Jesse. You were about to go through it, but you got through it. We got through it. And so again, continue to grow Microlocs, became single mama. I want to show y'all who I became a single mama to was this little girl, Nubia. So by the time I was published in Sophisticated Black Hair, for the first Microloc spread, this is interesting. I don't want to dwell on this because my spirit is like, don't move on, but I don't understand why there would be hate if I open up the lane for Microlocs. I don't understand why there would be hate. I haven't yet. I mean, we could do some legal stuff. We haven't done as much as we could, but because I don't want people, I wanted to try to help women and kind of like not ruffle your feathers. But so where would the hate come from? The truth? That's probably what it is. I know that someone got upset because I talked about some of the problems that some poor foundations were creating. Um, I don't know where would other, hate is such a strong word for someone that is wanting to put information for us to get really good results. And especially if I don't say the name, I've said Sister Locks because y'all saw the video, and that was a public panel. So that is interesting. Be careful of what you hear, but someone hates someone that hasn't done anything to them, but open up doors for them. If I am speaking on something that might make you look at what you're doing that's not ethical, and there's hate, then it would probably be better to just do something more ethical or get more support in your skills, or maybe because you don't sometimes see the people that end up coming over to people in our network, anyone's network, who have skills to fix and repair, who hear the people crying. Like, not everyone, we kind of become therapists even if you're not, because you're behind a chair. I'm happen to be a therapist, but there are other people. I mean, I've had people cry, and I just redirected it back to let's make solutions. But it does make you feel some type of way after a while when you see it, and you're so connected to that niche because of your origins, your story with help pioneering it out. That's why I speak the way. And then that's kind of powerful. So thank you for saying that, because I do feel like that just goes to, this just kind of connects. Like, the power is felt, the passion is felt. And like I said, if someone is threatened by someone, or human instinct is to like fight, right? Grass in a corner, if you feel cornered, like I said, with the reason why someone would take a mic out someone's hand and say those things on stage is because they wanted to diminish, they wanted to try to take the power. They felt like that was a fight. And it wasn't it wasn't reciprocal. Like, I wasn't putting that energy out. She looks like me. If it only so simple as hair, there are a lot of imitation, not to do it, don't dwell on it, but to acknowledge it. I'm only speaking of the overt, because not to, I can't understand that. Not to is stifling. So I'm just going between screens. Okay. She looks like me. Yeah. So that was what stopped everything. And so I'm going to speak and I'm going to touch on something I think we need to talk about that I'm definitely going to be talking more about in our industry is our mental health in this business, in any business. And laying hands on people's heads as well, or having people lay their hands on our heads. This is our psyche. This is our crown. Like your head controls everything. And we don't want to go too spiritual with it, but you want to protect it. And so there's a lot of cultures that cover hair, that shave hair, put wigs on, that do all types of things. And it's not to take, it's not some, maybe if you don't understand it, it's one thing, but there's deep historical reasons why. And for the same reasons, I always focus on now, even in the Microloc Standards book, I focus on now self-care and client care because during this time the postpartum was really kicking in, and it lasted for more than 2 years because if you have a lot of things in your environment, a lot of stressors, that can keep the depressive symptoms going. And so I had to work, many people have to do some things to recenter themselves and get themselves in a good space. And so I did this thing where I wouldn't lay my hands on anyone's head without, if I was too, especially too chaotic, without saying, okay, give me a moment. I'm going to go ahead and get ready for you. And I would either step out, go to the bathroom, and I would do some breathing. I would recenter. And I did this thing where I went neutral. I don't know if anybody understands that. But there's where you don't have any emotion triggered and you just go neutral because I wanted to like clean sweep it. I didn't want to bring my anger, my isolation. The first time I did someone's hair for real, I felt all their energy. I felt the sadness. And I called my mentor slash trainer, the one, an optician, and I said, I felt so sad after the session. And they ended up disclosing to me, the client, that I was doing their hair, something very sad, like very sad. That would make anybody sad. And so I realized I was already my spiritual journey then, that this is something more. And so while I was going through that, I said, a lot of us need support standing behind these chairs. And we're supposed to be the ones to take all the advice, all the, the problems that people go through. And I had sessions where I had, her father was supposed to be watching her, and I asked, could he buy something while he was going out to the store? And take it out to your child support, and walks out and leaves me with a screaming baby upstairs while I'm doing a time, we hourly rate service. And the client, who I believe was a psychologist at Columbia, if that's the case, that is crazy because I know she was so understanding and she held the baby crying for me and allowed me, she wants her hair done, but it was in such an understanding way. There's so many of us that go through these things. I've never shared that publicly. I didn't get on YouTube and share this and say, y'all, I don't have any energy to do another Microloc video. I don't have any funds to pursue my trademark. Y'all, I don't have any. Can y'all just wait? Can y'all not say anything else that's misleading? No, it was like life had to go on. So as far as the distraction, it's my baby girl. She ends up being my model. Y'all may have saw her. She her hair, oh shoot, November, her hair will turn 5 years. 5 years. She will be 11 tomorrow. And she started doing videos for me, modeling for me, and she has Microlocs. And that is my reason for being. I had my corny self wrote something and I wrote something about her. I was gonna make a post of it because I want y'all to know the human side behind this. I know for a fact if anyone ever says anything, usually they don't know me, don't know my story, they don't know how much I fight for us, they don't know where my passion is rooted in. And sometimes you put two and two together, you're like, oh well, damn, she been through a lot. Like y'all saw it on video, just a snippet of the kind of negativity when you have someone calling you bootleg and you actually literally have improved the quality of their work. So I said, the number one thing that keeps me going is my daughter. She was with me in 2013 when I made the first exclusive Microloc Hair 2. The same year, I held the first Microloc Hair event in Brooklyn. She was in my belly when I did 2 back-to-back interviews while in labor for Sophisticates Black Hair Care and Guide magazine in October of that year, 2013. Her presence forever etched in the photos published, well, her presence is in the photos of those magazines, and one because she was in my belly, and one I was pregnant, and the issue that I was in. She watched me through sleepless nights, crying and working nonstop as we traveled from Brooklyn to Queens to South Jersey to North Jersey. These are all me trying to find homes. I moved from a house to a room, to an apartment, back up to a home here in North Jersey, serving client after client. I had, she felt the financial strain when in 2015, we scraped every coin to invest in the beginning of the Microloc directory, the first worldwide directory of Microloc certified professionals. She sat with me through many first highs and lows. She made me a mother and gave purpose to my journey and success. And so I wanted to ask people, what is their why and who do you do it for? I've never shared all of that with y'all. And I'm vulnerable. That's my why. But this way. Thank you for the comments. Sorry, y'all. My daughter wouldn't understand after being through there, with walk with me through all that, why there would be anyone that would be negative. All she saw was all the nice women that came into the home, or when she was in the studio, when I had my hair studio. Um, and so do we just have to sometimes embody the strength, right? The strength. And sometimes it means moving in a way that we need to, which for me was I hyper focus on helping people get good results. Because if there's any reputation that I don't want anybody to ever say that I wasn't about you having the best that you can have, and I wasn't about helping Black women. When we did our first site instructor program, I took out of my pocket the $500 for each of them because I still need to secure my funding. Like I have this whole nonprofit that that I'm still finishing, and so my goal is to get big funds, and it's not gonna stop being my goal. I'm a social worker too, so like I want to get a lot of funding for us. And those who align with me, this program, these skills are making their way here. And I can tell those who really, you kind of remind me of me. Like I slept on the floor when she was one because we were in New York City and bed bugs infested my bed. And I slept on an air mattress in somebody's house. And the air mattress had a hole in it. But I showed up to my clients and I had my 1 year old and I was going crazy. And her father was fighting me for custody. Like these are things I did not share. You don't know what people are going through and how much they can relate to you and how much, why would you fight? So something else that came to me is that we are all reflections of each other, some aspect of us. And when we fight or negative or dislike or whatever, it usually is an aspect of ourselves that they're reminding us of that we need to examine. Or that we aspire to be, that we wish we could. Like something is being triggered. I see that so much. Oh my gosh, I see it so much. And it's so hard for people to say, like, well, the envy and jealousy is because people don't feel good enough about themselves. And that's very pervasive in our communities. The field is enough for all of us. There's enough clients here for everyone. Who is meant for you is meant for you. We're not competition, but so many people felt that is sad. I'm gonna plug in this computer right quick. It might slow it down, but it's the battery. Give me a second, y'all. Okay. It's gonna do its thing. It's gonna blink. Okay. I'm big about spiritual energy and I will not touch someone's crown when I'm off. It is something powerful. Want to nurture, grow, and change the client, not stunt or kill their life force. Hair can thrive in the hands of someone with good energy and it can also break and be. I've seen that. And they just switched stylists and then thrived. Energy is food. It's like food for the cells. Yes, her birthday. Yeah. Oh yeah, her birthday's in 3 hours. She need to go to bed. Oh, she has 15 minutes. I'm gonna get off. In the Saha, you would just allow anyone to touch your hair, so it's not to fall in the hands of your energy. And then on some of the, we have our culture is rich as melanated people, right? There's voodoo, there's hoodoo, there's um, the Akan, there's Yoruba, there's a bunch of different cultures and spirituality. And a lot of things, you can get some hold of someone's hair and you can do a lot of damage or you can do a lot of good. It's okay. Happy tears. I don't know what tears this is. I'm taking a risk by even doing this. I'm taking a risk. Everybody say F her. She's crazy. I'm taking a risk, but I'm only listening to what I'm being guided to say. It said go live and talk about your story. Y'all know you can go down my YouTube and see all the other informational videos about technique. But there's just hold on, y'all. This is moving slow because I plugged up. So I'm gonna disconnect this. That should work. Hold on, y'all. Let's see if it works better. Is it moving better? Or I can unplug this. Um, I'm gonna keep looking at the comments while I try to get this connection. I think I'm gonna unplug this. No. It's okay to not be strong and vulnerable. Your journey is so inspirational. Thank you. Vulnerability is, yes, precious. Vulnerability is moving better. It's not lagging. The vulnerability is the biggest strength anyone can show. We don't need to walk around and posing like we got it all together and that we got this great big successful, this everything is perfect. Please, perfection is not real. Um, it actually could. I've had people. Someone came to me for their business after they saw another page, which is their page is perfect. I know this, this. I've had contact with this particular business, and I was like, oh yeah, the page was immaculate. Like mine's messy. She was like, I didn't go because it was too perfect. She was like, it was just too perfect, and I didn't know that they would be able to handle imperfections in my own hair, because every other person in this picture has perfect hair, perfect this, and I was like, wow, it is lagging on my end a little bit. Let me see. I'm going to unplug one more thing, but I don't really want to, so I don't think I should. Okay, let me go here. Okay, it's back to lagging, but it's not too bad, so just keep going. Okay. Let me show y'all this other thing I want to show y'all. If it's lagging and the video is gonna last, let it get some juice, and then I'm gonna unplug it again, and it'll have more power. So just like 5 minutes, it'll have more juice. So oh, so the Microloc Mastery, right? This concept, I was like, I want to do a program that reaches even more people, right? That you can take regardless of where you live, you should be able to access it. And then, so that's kind of how I started the concept of an online program. The slide was put up there. I guess I was like, whenever I get to talk about this program, I'm going to talk about it. So now y'all got some of the backstory, right? Why, you may not know. I see myself lagging in the mirror in the video. Can y'all hear me though? Like, is my sound okay? Because if it's just my video, then that's not too bad. Can y'all hear me? Before I get into some more. Sounds good? Okay. Oh Lord, what did I just do? Hold on. Let me make it full screen. Okay, just the video is lagging. Okay. So then that means that the video is gonna lag. I'm gonna put it on in a minute. I don't know if there's any specific questions y'all have. I kind of see y'all looking. I got calm for a minute because I was about to go on a tangent with my daughter. I think I just needed to calm down for a minute. Um, yeah, that kind of threw my energy off a little bit. I don't really know what I was going to say after that. I had a lot of messages come to me to share with y'all though, and it was about being. Oh yeah, tell people that you don't need to. The outside validation is not what's important. It's the inside validation. But it's distracting people and kind of making things the way they are in the industry where there's like a hit or miss or where some people are having really poor experiences is because too many people don't know who they are internally and they're catering to an external validation such as likes and social media and just other things like where you don't feel like you're doing enough but you truly are. Just keep continuing to believe in what you believe in, but you have to tap into who you really are. So don't try to be anyone else. Be yourself. And you'll see that consistency. What have you been most consistent with over the years? And it just, I think I needed to see that I was saying the same message. I was saying the same messages in the same way, even when I forgot what I said. And I was like, this, that's always going to show you like you're pulling from inside you. You're not like repeating back what you heard. I think I had a message for people who are creators and like professionals, and a message for people who are on the other end of it, who might become clients or whatever. And it's kind of the same message of like substance. That's going to be what is going to really truly make you happy. Find things of substance, connect with things on substance. Don't unless you want to keep it superficial. So like if I want a man that just look good or just has money, I can't be surprised if he has many women, if he has an STD, if he's this, because all I really cared about was that I know I threw the STD and I was like, what? But that's what Spirit was saying to me. Like, we have to move where it's going to give us lasting happiness and lasting, like, what we really want. So you then you'll get more of what you desire. Also, I am so freaking laggy. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get ready to get off. And let me see. I want to see if I can unplug this and show you this last video right quick. I hate that. I hate that my computer does that. This is it's gonna get better. Watch. No, a little bit. Okay, let's look at this one real quick. This other video I wanted to look at.
Hi everyone, this is Jessica of Naturally Beautiful Hair Care. And what I want to talk about today is how to be really prepared for the transition to locks. What that really means. We can go on YouTube and websites and we can Google, what to expect during the transition physically with the locks. But there are also some things that we need to be prepared for that we may not have considered or even thought about. What I want to do in this video is attempt to break down all those major areas that I have personally struggled with and what I have seen my clients struggle with over the course of 6 years or so of providing this direct hair care service. I want to also shout out one of my clients, Sheila, for helping transcribe this list for me. She also even this video was inspired from dialogue that we had as I was providing her retightening services, and I thought, you know what, this is something that I definitely wanted to get out there for people who are interested in locking their hair or who have recently locked their hair. This is also great for people who have been somewhere along into the process. There's no time limit. We are ever evolving and ever changing as our hair is. So some things may come up in different phases of our journeys. But one of the things that I wanted to preface this whole discussion is, when in regards to locks, is to first really understand why you're getting locks.
Oh my God, y'all! This is the first time I'm watching this video over 10 years. Yes, I'm still long-winded. Yes, if that's a problem, sorry. Um, but oh my God, so I'm watching this new for with a lot of y'all. So what did I just say? Know that you're ready for locks. Okay.
Why is it that you want locks? Um, you know, a lot of people obviously want a hairstyle for cosmetic reasons, and then secondarily for some of the maintenance. And it is a different way to maintain locks, and it can become easier to maintain our hair. So those two things I noticed are the most popular reasons why people want to get locked. They see some locks, they look quite beautiful, and then they say, I really like the flexibility that locks provide me, whether they're very small, micro size, to big locks. It is quite a transition from loose hair. And one of the main things you should be prepared for is to put away your comb and be really prepared to not comb your hair.
But I'm combing my hair. So many different changes from that video to now. One thing I want to say real quick, I'm put the quiz on the bottom. I have the lock quiz I create out of what I was saying there. I didn't even realize I said that. But there's still to this day, and now that there's so much more, oh my gosh, so much more information that is, or information that may not be, what do you call it when it's not? There's all types of information, and people don't know sometimes that this is that what they want is not going to be what they're seeing. So I have this lock quiz. You can go to lockquiz.com. And the second point I was making about this comb, I keep advertising this comb, and Yendi, I'm going to make sure that I don't even get paid. I don't get a commit, like nothing. I'm going to become an affiliate because I'm really feeling this little comb, and it's not a conventional comb. So don't do this with a conventional comb. But I just found about her at my LA book tour stop for the Microlocs Standards book. And we have these networking. So people, if you're coming on any tour stop, bring your innovations. We were doing bonnets. We have a lot of things that are for locks. I just want to share that. Here is a comb now. All right, let's go back. The lock quiz and um, yeah, the new product plug. Yeah.
It sounds simple sometimes, but it can be a transition for some people. Your fingers are your combs now, so how easy is that? You'll never lose a comb, unless you don't have fingers. And sorry, you can find something to manipulate your hair, but you this is your comb. There's no need to comb your hair. You're also gonna, for those who are getting interwoven locks, interlocks, sister locks, you're gonna have minimal product, especially in the beginning phases. Minimal to no product. It all depends on where you are and what your particular loctician states. But for me and my clients, we're very minimal on the products because when you are locking your hairs need to intertwine and essentially mat together. And any excessive product and conditioner will, one, detangle your hair because conditioner is the tangle, coat your strands, and number two, can create buildup. So if you are a product junkie and a proud product junkie, you may go through a little bit of a detox and withdrawal as you have to scale down your product.
Okay, I think I don't know how many if y'all want to hear the rest of it yet, but I talk about this now all the time. But yeah, I these are the top. I think the top two videos. There's a couple more newer within the past 4 years. But this video is from, so I was in my Brooklyn apartment, so 2011. So how many? No, 13 so years ago. But I'm getting ready to wrap this up. I always want to plug that we have the LA, um, the Atlanta book tour stop coming. My computer uh, is needs to be charged again. So, but again, we are always about quality information. That's why I developed this law quiz as well, because I want you to, or people who have clients who may need to flesh out, just think more thoroughly about what works for them best, so that you can get the best. Um, I feel like we're in an age where people kind of want it quick and we want it now, or we don't have enough information to understand certain things aren't quick and aren't now. So if you're coming from being in a salon space where you have instant styles and you get them done every so often, and I see that seep into the psyche of people who are trying to go maybe new into this realm of locks. And so they're really struggling, like I did, with like how it looks, and having not look the way it will look finished. And this is where it opens up for manipulation. But I don't know if people are intentionally doing this, that are taking clients, or if they just don't know, but it opens up the when you are doing your install pics and you're getting a lot of likes on the install pics. They're liking how some people who maybe are not opticians, they like the style, they like what it looks like, they like the cleanness, they like the lighting. But it's not necessarily an indicator of what the locks look like. They look like, usually, if it's a mini braid or a grid or whatever. And so it is really playing on that psychology of people who like an instant or a more final look right out the chair, and not necessarily maybe as connected as some to like the process of locking. It doesn't mean you want to look a mess coming out the chair, but I think sometimes people are seeing that as the outcome of what it's going to be, and then as it evolves out of that, because it's going to, they're having a hard time with it. They're having a hard time. I know I'm laggy. It's because I plugged the computer back. And then what there's not a normal locking process. Now it's an abnormal locking process if the foundation wasn't done in a way that is conducive to the look that they want. Like to the size lock, to the barrel shape, to the neatness, or whatever it is that people might be desiring. So when you are armed with knowledge, no one can ever bamboozle you. No one can fool you, and it is a threat to people who want to do what they're doing and not invest properly. I know people. There are so many. We even have to look up people, for our own legal reasons. And there's people that don't really have contact information. Probably don't really have a website. They're not. They're followers of bots. Um, it's very interesting what's out there, because we have to contact some people sometimes about certain, you know. I don't know if they're just typing in keywords and they're just trying to put a facade. It's like putting a big fancy thing in front of what's behind it, on a wall, but what's behind that wall is trash, kind of, or like it's not good, or it's not what you think you see. And a lot of people will use platforms like Instagram. Then people are reaching out saying, "Hey, I'll help run your numbers up, run your views up, run your likes up." And for some reason, that's a huge motivator for people to sacrifice integrity and quality and ethical practices. They're just doing whatever. And so that leaves an end. So when you are armed with knowledge and you do your digging a little bit, or you looking, you know what to look for, it is a threat. Same way it was a threat when I said, "Hey y'all, let me give you the scoop." I have another video. I think I have to pull up another day. Let me give you the scoop on what's happening, with Sister Lock tools. When I first started talking out, it was just to say that the tools were kind of, causing this. But here's a tool that I ship. I know some of you don't want to admit you use them, but you order them because you don't want to get sued. And like, let's get out of that space where we are moving in fear, and let's get to a space where we can get training and support without having to worry about that. If this is not this, if I don't use this exact thing, then I'm going to be sued. That was the biggest thing that was happening 15 years ago. That was a huge thing. And so that's why I got a lot of heat, I felt, for kind of exposing a little bit of it, because of my position being a major distributor for a particular hair tool. Um, and so all that heat and lifing, I did say I don't know if I can get back on social media, like YouTube, because Instagram wasn't out then. Yeah, it came out like during the time I was away. because I had a fight in me, I was like, I can't, I can't deal with all of this and deal with my own stuff. But I did want to come back out. When I came back out in 2019, I think I started coming back live again. I said, I'm coming back out with this information, with this program. And we came out with this program, this information. And some people, again, may not have known all the work that happened before, that laid the groundwork for the microlock platforms that you may have ended up following. And some, some people just blatantly just, I mean, they were pretty much regurgitate the same thing. That happens with anything. But some like really get very close. But anyway, it's, I'll just tell you this: you got the information and the receipts and the source of it all. I think that if you want to connect with someone who is truly connected to this and done the work, um, the time frame, has the hairstyle, uses the tool, uses the system. The system was created from what I had in my hair, right? Created a Microlock Mastery system based on what I was, um, had different from Sister Locks, and then what I continue to innovate on. So that's so funny, and it's so interesting to hear sometimes, or have people say certain things to me or treat me a certain way. And you're like, well, when they're like, you don't know what Microlocs are, and I'm like, well, actually, the standards I created were based on the standards I would use for my own hair. So when I speak on like what the best results are for specific hair types, sizing, tool type, foundational method for the way the hair locks around that pattern, I'm talking about things that I went through myself and then done on hundreds of other hair types across hair types. I've had probably dealt with almost every hair type you can think of that is for a person of color. I have not done hair on super straight hair locks, besides my mannequins back in the day when they didn't have Afro kinky mannequins. So every texture, every density. Um, so I felt like, based on my nerd cap, based on the population sample size, I was able to conclude and make certain standards based on, and then over the long period of time, over the 10, 15 years, I had enough factors to create, a standard that I felt was going to be, solid, as opposed to something I just thought up and threw it in the market. Because I'm a social worker, I'm in academia, and we have to take statistics, when we're talking about like research. I wanted to be a social work researcher at one point. I mean, so I'm really good with understanding what you need to come to a conclusive thing before you introduce it out to a market when you put it in business, because you don't really want to play with that. You don't want to play with that, um, too much, because yeah, people were getting, even before I started with the Microlocks, people were getting sued with Sister Locks when they wanted something and they weren't getting something that they thought they got. My loctician had, told me about some instances she had, and she ended up just refunding to avoid lawsuit because it wasn't even something she did intentionally. Sometimes people come in a little bit. Mm, the guy came in a little messy. Maybe his intentions were to try to get a free hairstyle. So when he ended up saying, "Well, this is not the size I want," she refunded, and we quickly introduced into the program protocols to prevent that. So everything that, specific things that are done in a program, are done in a curriculum, or done in a way that we roll out the training and support, is to prevent or to address something that's happened prior. So the length of time I've been in this industry, I think that's an asset to. I knew what was out there. People, I mean, it's some of the craziness. It's just, I don't want people to have to go through what I've seen other people go through. So I don't find joy in people suffering with something that they didn't really want, just so I can have my light bill paid. That doesn't make sense to me. Um, I don't really see. Okay, y'all. I said I was gonna get off because it's laggy. But if you have any final comments, I thank y'all for listening to me. I know I just let spirit kind of speak through me. Um, you're long winded too. Yeah. And I'm just leaving like any last little trinkets of gems that come through because it was pouring through like all the message. It was like, girl, speak, 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 speak. This is the guidance that I use to create the program. It's the guidance I use to create the extension. Like I listen to it and it tells me to speak up and share the story. I'm gonna speak up and share the story. Anything else to say? No. Well, if they have questions, but y'all don't have questions. So y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for watching. I see y'all watching. Maybe y'all like the video, pushing the algorithm, but I'm telling you, y'all, have faith for those who are spiritual because y'all don't need to see what you don't see or see. Don't worry about that. If you want to support and you want to click a like and push it into the algorithm, great. I'd appreciate that. This is this work. It's been a lot. It's been a long time. Let me take this off. Yeah. All right, y'all. Oh, you love the quiz? I know that there's delay, so that's why I stick around for a second when I say bye. Confirm your is that thank you. You another like the how many person that's telling me how accurate this quiz is. Awesome. And so that just and hopefully that helps you feel good. Like you made the right choice. Even if it gets something different, it doesn't mean you made a wrong choice. It just might mean that you just know that there might be factors that might make something a little bit better for you, but it doesn't mean that it's not what you have is not good. I think it's good for people who really let me see. Like so I love that. Thank you for sharing that. And share the quiz out to people if you want, if you would like. Um, yeah, y'all. Exciting. Anybody gonna be in ATL in Atlanta? Because I might as well go ahead and throw up on. Let me take this down. And let me put up I have I'm laggy. So many things to ship. Oh my god. We have so many new students. Because we also have a crazy flash sale going on. Do y'all know about the flash sale? The book tour is hitting Atlanta on the 20th. I know this is tiny. So, oh Lord, let me take the quiz thing off. And my face. And so Atlanta is on the 20th. And you will go to, if you went to, hold on. You go to the microlocsstandards.com if you want to reserve a VIP, but there, if you have the book, it's free. If you want to get the book, I'm looking for ATL. We had California. We started with California. We did Brooklyn, and we are now in Atlanta, which is at the Soul Bougie Salon. And the microlocsstandards.com, you can RSVP. You should RSVP because we have limited space. And if you are VIP, which I suggest you do, because once the class starts, we're going to have to say, hey, y'all, bye. Like, it's a free class, well, not a free, it's an included class in person. And then we also have we give you access to our 3-day training online and our community. The VIP includes the book as well. And it's $99. The book is $49. So you for basically the price of 2 books, you get something that's value. I think the value of everything is like $500, but you get it for $99. And you get a signed copy. And then we have our Microlocs styling class right after that. And I'm gonna tell y'all, that class is booking up. I mean, a lot of the people that are already gonna be at the book signing are gonna be staying for the class. So the sell is crazy because the price that we have it for is like our 2023 prices. We've had to increase our prices because we have increase in our platforms. And increase in the number of people in our program required us to hire more coaches. And we still have to manage. I have a whole tech team that has to manage the Microloc directory, as well as the course sites, and then our community site. And we have an app, y'all. I didn't announce that. It's in the Apple Store. People are like, what is this? So we have just a lot of things that are for our community. every addition to the program. And then we have the site instructors program. And excuse me, I have to make sure that we can fund and give the sites, because y'all get grants for that. Y'all get money to take the free to earn crazy money. And I want to make sure that we have the pot full of money to give to everyone who's been accepted into that program. They get what they need. So it's a lot of money flowing out. And I'm a solo mom. Um, Still recovering. Like it's y'all can relate. We have children. Like it's sometimes I'm like she's about to be 11, but I still feel like I'm still recovering from having her. Like it was traumatic. It was traumatic. And then this on top of it, the whole Microlocs story, and did not have the support system in the physical, child. So that's why I'm a little maybe a little hypersensitive to but then again, I'm also used to I'm used to maybe, you know, people hurt people trying to hurt. It's a sad reality, and I'm glad that I'm in a mental health field because it helps me get help for myself. And I would like all of that. I don't know, I'm kind of all over the place right now talking about that, but Microloc Standard Book Tour is going to be an amazing experience, and we are ready. Me and AIM Celebrity Stylist April B are ready. And so that's happening on Sunday. In addition, hold up, our boot camp is about to start. Oh, but the boot camp, no, we're having our boot camp sometime in November. Next week we start coaching, which is all the people that are in, all the people that have enrolled are in the program. We have our group coaching, which is free. It's a free bonus for everyone in the program, unlimited amount of times. Show up for class Monday, the 21st at 7 p.m. Walk through the curriculum together in the group setting, go through the modules with our coaches. And then we'll have the boot camp sometime in November. But if y'all, for those people who've applied for the site trainer program, see if I have the slide for that. Because I know some of y'all watch, or you might be interested, or you might just join the program and you're like, wait, what? I keep trying to talk about it because so many people are interested. I think this is, no, that's not it. Are interested. And that's basically you being an instructor for our program. We've built out the curriculum. We have all the PDF slides for you. I'm just adding this for background effect. Our supply kits and bags and things. We have the workbooks. So when you sign up, it is free, right? I'm not going to have you pay to train on my curriculum. We become like a super affiliate. Basically, you are brought into the program as an instructor when you're accepted, and you have 4 weeks of free business training covering marketing, training groups. So one of my background in social work is social work in groups, but there's a skill to doing groups, but then also to do training in groups. So we'll have those trainings, and each day you have homework. It's once a week. So that's just valuable information you can take with you regardless for your own business. You get, not only that, you get paid for that. You get that for free. And then when you complete, and then you go ahead and start enrolling your students at I think our highest earning affiliates, our highest earning affiliates at that point, and that's like $1,500 a student. So then you get an extra $500 grant on top of that. So right off the bat, you are able to make $2,000. Like, people are making money in our program, and it's basically, again, me identifying with y'all. Most of y'all, everyone in the program, most people are Black women. We have a few other races as well, but we're women. And if you're a man as well, that's cool too. But I identify with women, and knowing what I needed and what I didn't have. And I'm also a social worker. I'm already committed to service in my regular profession. I just translate that over. That's why y'all gonna get sick of me saying that's why I'm so passionate about it, about people being treated wrong. And whatever, like I just said, that's so crazy to me. But anyway, so that's why some things are going to be unique to this program because it's a unique CEO, social worker, been through some things that don't want other women, knows what it's like to want help and to have a leg up and to have support. So let's do it, and let's all win, in a way that impacts our industry in such a I feel could be a powerfully positive way. That is what we need on a larger scale. That's what humanity needs. We cannot continue to go by and doing these little shady things, right? Not you, but whoever, other people, and think that there's no repercussion for that. And also, at the end of the day, what happens to those people that trusted you? And how powerful this hair culture is. It's it's embedded in some of our DNA, and so that is going to be happening. I think this. Oh, we also have. So yeah, the deadline for the interviews for the site instructor program, y'all need to get the 22nd. That's what day is that? Next Tuesday. Microloc Mastery member meeting on the 23rd. Extension class begins. So those of you who are interested in the Microloc Mastery Extensions program, class is beginning on the 23rd. Everything is happening this month because we are trying to get y'all suited, booted, ready before Thanksgiving rush, before Christmas. Even if you don't celebrate it, you already know it just gets hectic, right? Anyway, and people's families are off and everybody, you might want to chill. And I think you should chill at the end of the year. So let's knock this out. And we have everything, like the bulk of everything is happening and scheduled to end before Thanksgiving. So when we start the program, the 4-week site instructor program, we have it so it ends before Thanksgiving. Submit all your stuff. Let's get your site ready. Let's get everything ready. Those who want to be certified before the end of the year, let's get you ready. Let's get your page up. Let's get your listing ready. You can probably even get in the holiday rush. Get maybe even get some clients before then. That will help, fund whatever you need to fund for the end of the year. It's all possible, and we are doing it. And I'm gonna make my best effort to support everyone on this. And I appreciate everyone who's actually said kind words to me. I saw that video, child. A lot of people was wishing well for the business. A lot, like we had like 1,000 comments or something on that when y'all saw the mic come out of my hand. I'm not that. Remember that energy you felt when you saw that. I imagine having to deal with that for years, and into current time, even from people who are using the things that you fought so hard for. So I just want some people to have a little bit of empathy because that's really powerful when it's time for it to come to you too. And so I feel like I wanted to also thank people. I was definitely wanting to thank people for that because there's so many people that I was wishing well over the business. And so just a sample of what what people go through. That's just a very public, but there was a lot going on. Not so public. Yes. So thank y'all. I'm really excited to the song. Yeah, the song's amazing. Props to the men who stood up and stepped out with us. What men? What? I lost what I was saying with the men. Oh yeah. I was saying the men who also may want to get this. Yes. Props to y'all. Let's go. Let's do this. Microloc Mastery community. Let's do it. We got an army. We got spiritual army. Like y'all. We taking care of y'all. Thank y'all so much for who love and support, and thank you for hearing my story. I appreciate y'all. Have a good night.